stream in a while, and the YouTube shorts don't do any justice in terms of capturing the entire essence of what it look like. So I came here to do a live stream because I look different whenever I do a short, a YouTube short. It's way more personal on here, you know. Um, Last time I spoke to you guys, it was the vibe was really dark in terms of topic discussion. But I guess we can keep it a little bit more lively since we are in the holiday seasons. But a lot has happened since I did my last live stream. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things have transpired, not in the best way. And a lot of stuff got exposed. A lot of these so-called leaders of the world, so-called politicians and presidents, governments, you know, a lot of them really got exposed within months from the last live stream that I was on. And that just goes to show that the incompetence of your leaders, the incompetence of your government, and the way that you just blindly give them all of your rights and freedom, it's like it just is so like that's like an animal walking into the slaughterhouse and expecting to be taken care of rather than to actually seek out help or to receive some sort of safety net. Your leaders are incompetent, and you can already tell just by looking at how this election went. And you know, do I believe that Donald Trump holds my core values in terms of social economic stances? Probably not. But then again, who knows? Maybe Donald Trump can inspire the next generation to seek out what the previous generations tried to invest in terms of like segregation, in terms of border policies, in terms of safety and freedom, freedom of speech. And as you can tell, freedom of speech is under attack all the time. You know, um, they've been trying really hard to indoctrinate new um, ideologies into my current way of perceiving the world, or the perception that I have of the world, or the perspective that I gained through critical knowledge, you know. And the more you try to pull the wool over my eyes, the more I'm going to figure out exactly why you're doing it, you know, or what it is that causes people to try and manipulate others for their own gain. Uh, um, the government knows. The government still hasn't paid me for all the effort that I put in terms of social economic outputtings. I've they've stole how many songs did I write that they stole? Nearly 99.9% of the songs that are you hear on the radio now, I wrote them. I sang them. And where's my compensation? You know, those songs are doing numbers, millions, millions of views. And yet I'm fucking poor. I'm jobless. Got nothing to show for it. And on top of that, I get attacked daily when I go out. When I'm on my phone and I see all these other YouTubers like doing horrible things, horrible things on YouTube. And your favorite YouTuber will never tell you that they're involved in illegal activities. Your favorite YouTubers will never tell you, they will never tell you like that most of the people that they interact with on a daily basis are doing illegal activities. But they want to control you and me into believing that what they're doing is subjectively moral or objectively moral, whichever one you prefer. Think about that. Your government will go as far as to steal from you, make money and profit off of you, and then turn around and say, blame the person we just took advantage of. Make them be the monster. Make them seem like they're the ones that are causing chaos. Who are the people that are causing chaos around the world? The US military, the militaries of any country. These people, they thrive on chaos. You know, the CIA, the military, the government, these are not good people at all. And the fact that they spin the narrative to try to take the eyes off of them and put the eyes on unsuspecting, law abiding citizens, it just goes to show who the real monsters and who the real bad guys are. Think about that. In a world where safety is and freedom is priority, that only benefits the people who are doing the stuff. The stuff that's not good. So, do I believe Donald Trump will change anything at all with the election turnout? Like I said, I don't know. He might have a script. They might have written a script for him to say whatever it is that they need him to say. Or he might actually not have a script and go off a tangent and actually listen to the majority of the white people that live in this country. So think about that. Who are your biggest enemies? Your neighbors? The retail stores? The local shops? Your fire department? Your police department? Ask yourself, do you think that these people actually hold your core values in mind? And if you stop to think for even a second, then the answer is no. So, think about this. They've stolen so much from me. So much. But yet, if I act out in a manner that is not in agreement to how they want to spin the narrative on things, for some reason that's worse than torturing your own citizens, your own civilians. How is that worse? Your government doesn't have the best interest in mind in you. Think about that. Your government has caused chaos across all sectors, all boards, of all continents. But yet, if you have your own critical thought to say anything against, or your views are challenging whatever the narrative is, for some reason that outweighs whatever bad thing they're doing or they ever did. And you could be only saying the truth, or you could be out here, trying to get people to listen and actually know what's going on. And that's the only crime that you've committed. The only crime that you've committed as a citizen of the world, is the crime of telling the truth about what's actually going on in the world. Think about that. The only crime that you've committed is saying the truth about how your government holds its policies, about how your government deals with narratives that don't align with their core values. So, this is exactly why I encourage people to say fuck the government, fuck the military, fuck the judicial system, the justice system. None of these systems are to protect you as an individual. All these systems are built for corporations, for industrial plants, industrial commerce. Think about that. Think about how many. Sorry about that. Think about what that does to your psyche. How many corporations have threatened me? How many industrial lobbyists have threatened me? Of like saying, oh, if you saw something and you say whatever you saw, we're gonna go after you, or we're gonna do this, or we're gonna do that. How many transgressions have been placed upon me whenever I go out to buy food or clothes or water? You know? So these laws that your government places on you, they don't work. You can see that they don't work. And the fact that you still try to manipulate me, to try to trick me into believing whatever narrative is trending in terms of politics, in terms of commerce, in terms of globalization. With all the lies that you've said prior to any of this, why would any citizen believe what any government has to say? When you're constantly being lied to, think about this. Corporations built social media to waste your time. But how many corporations actually will allow you to waste their time? Only a handful of corporations will only allow you to do that. And even if some of these corporations do allow you to waste your time, there's mostly there's some underlying narrative that's being pushed. Think about that. Your phone, these cellular devices that we use on a daily basis, they're a crutch. There's some sort of emotional support so that you don't see, so that you don't feel what's actually going on. These devices are like, it's like taking a painkiller to numb your emotions so that in the future, whatever bad thing they're doing, it's more likely that you'll be more susceptible to have your emotions regulated. And before these cellular devices were even a thing, before social media was even a thing, people knew what was going on. people were smart enough to know what narrative was being spun. But now you ask someone like, "Hey, what do you think about Agent Orange or Operation Paperclip?" Or if you ask them, you know, any sort of classified theoretical things that happened in the past, people will be so desensitized that they will answer you with no emotion. And that's the end game. The end game is to try to spin the narrative as much as they can to the point where whatever went on before these cellular devices became a thing, that people don't take them serious anymore. Now we have YouTubers that prioritize um, creating entertainment out of serious topics. And I know that like these informational videos are meant to be lighthearted in terms of how they present the information. But in the world that's constantly like pushing violence on all corners of the world, why would there be a necessity to desensitize how this information is presented? You know, we 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 have the power to shut everything down, and I don't think people realize that. Is that we have the power to say no. This is not what I want for the future of my country, or this is not what I want for the future generations. So whenever I go outside, it's a dog eat dog world. From what I see, everyone's constantly at each other's throats. No one actually upholds their values in terms of like trying to make the world a better place. So think about that. They would rather take my freedom and put me in some sort of prison or jail cell, because whatever power I have, they know that it works. And if it works for me, what's stopping other people from making it work for them? What's stopping other people from being enlightened, from watching me and hearing what I have to say and following along with what I've been trying to get people to realize? Excuse me. So there's been a lot of killings here in this community that I live in. There's constant killings every day, but they won't showcase it. They won't let the public know what's going on. There is no news station out here that publicizes or publishes what's actually going on out here. It's actually really difficult because you sort of have to find out through other means, you know, whether it be research, whether it be actually following them to wherever the incident happened to see what's actually going on. But they expect full transparency from their citizens, and yet they don't want to give you full transparency on their part. How does that work? And I understand that there's things that can't be said because some information is way too powerful, and in the wrong hands, it could cause a lot of chaos. But even then, they should make that abundantly clear. Like, hey, we know that we're not as transparent as we wish, but we hold information because some of it is just way too powerful for people to hear it. And in the wrong hands, it could transpire into something that we don't want for the world. You know, if you made that claim in a political gathering or whatever, that would be more understandable. And we would be more willing to say, okay, well, at least we get some level of transparency. And it may not be the best, but it's good enough. So I came across a video yesterday, and it was about how the Western world is like a death cult. You're in a death cult. And then I saw this other video that said that life is suffering. And it was about samsara or samsara. So I'm going to dive more deeper into these topics as soon as I get more information on like what discussions have been said or what type of books have been written about this information. I kind of already have like a handle of what type of information it is, but I want to give you a full conclusion of what I think it means, because I don't want to just like say, oh, you know, well, probably means this, maybe it means that. I'm not sure. Anyways, like I said, that there is a bounty on my head. There is a lot of people that don't want me to speak about these things, and they're willing to go to great lengths to try to torture me or torture the people that I love. But the world that I imagine is that we get some sort of level of transparency from our government to the point where we don't have to go through these lucrative ways of gathering information that could be potentially dangerous for people to gather this information. So now that you know that your government has stolen so many things from me, I'm willing to bet that you think your expectations of what I should do is to steal from them. But you're not wrong. I should feel the need to destroy everything that they've created. I should have that right to destroy everything that they've ever taken from me that I loved and cared for. You're absolutely right. I should feel that way. But I would rather leave that aside and actually build upon their lies and their destruction to push my own narrative. And that narrative is the truth. Not any sugar-coated lie, not some sort of coup. My sole purpose is to expose the underlying monster of a system that you defend because you're too afraid of your government. And like I said, these people, they're not invincible. All these people that with the flick of a wrist on command can change things on a larger scale, they're people just like you and I. What makes them different is that they've been able to manipulate and indoctrinate for so long that they've created this cookie cutter way of handling things when things don't go according to the narrative that they've pushed. Think about that. They've had so much time invested to create so many things that destroy the lives of people. That there's so many instances of revolutionary ideas. There's no way of saying who's wrong or who's right. And what I believe to be right is what I follow. And what I follow is the most logical way of thinking about how things are. Not to be wishful thinking of how things could be, of how things should be, but as how they are. And once you start to view the world in a manner where you see things for what they are, rather than to look at these things from a point of how you wish things would be or how you wish things could be, then you start to free your mind from whatever indoctrination is placed upon you. And there will always be people who will go against the truth, even if you tell them, even if you show them proof of what it actually is. They're so deep into twisting the narrative that they wouldn't want to hear it, or they'll dismiss it because they know what's actually going on. And they know that listening to anything that you have to say would be contradictory to all the suffering, pain, death, and destruction that they have created. Think about that. Everything is globalized to serve those people who keep the information that you need to be successful in life, to move forward with whatever you want to do in your life, if it's positive. And I see things for what they are, not some sort of wishful thinking. Like, oh, I wish the world was this way, or what if the world could be like this? That's not the way I think about things. I think about things in a clear-cut narrative, and that narrative is the truth. And when you tell the truth to people who have built their lives upon lies, death, and destruction, how do you think that makes them feel? Do you think that makes them resonate with your ideologies? Do you think that that makes them feel better and say, maybe I should change? Maybe I should view life differently? No. No, they won't. Because they've done it for so long that that's all that they know. And any pushback against that would make them go crazy. Because you're tearing down apart structurally, logically, what they have built. And what they have built is that they have built a house of cards out of lies, destruction, and death. And that's why they want me dead. That's why they want me imprisoned. That's why they want me pushed to the side. Because if you can't indoctrinate me, if you can't manipulate me, then what else is there to do? The only thing that you can do is imprison me, call me crazy, or kill me. How many death threats have I received? Not just once, not just this year. That's why I have that, like, this attitude of like, I don't give a fuck, or fuck you. Because if your own government is willing to say fuck you, if the military, the FBI, the CIA is willing to say fuck you, we don't give a fuck about you, we don't care about your rights, we don't care about what you think about, we don't care about the truth of how things actually are, then what are we left with? We have no other choice but to do the same and say fuck you too. Go fuck yourself. That's the only choice that they're giving. Think about that. You're helping these CEOs, these politicians, to continue the destruction of people's lives on a daily basis. On a daily basis. Things could be much more efficient, work much more prosperous. But they don't want that. Things could be so much safer for people, but they don't want that. How many people in this community are actually doing illegal stuff and actually get in trouble for it? None of them. None of them actually get in trouble for all these explicit illegal activity that they've been doing. How many people in this community are the perpetrators of doing these illegal activities and hold some sort of power in their company, in their corporation? That's not what they're willing to talk about. Or what about the border situation? I've explained to you many times that the colors of a rainbow, are separated by a border. The colors of the rainbow are separated by a border that keeps their colors at a distance so that you can see the rainbow in all its glory. Think about that. What if those borders weren't there? What if these colors weren't segregated? It would just be a mixture of blob colors, and you wouldn't be able to see anything. It would be void of any color. Think about that. If the rainbow is segregated by borders to divide the colors, what makes you think that society should be the opposite of that? There should be no rule or law in place that says that segregation should not be there. Think about that. These people are going against the very nature of how things work. Whoever created these laws of anti-segregation was the dumbest person to ever exist on the planet, in the entire fucking universe. Whoever created these policies to ban segregation is the dumbest person ever to walk the earth. And whoever was for it, whoever was like, yes, we do want segregation, this is actually what we need, those people are probably the most logical thinking people. And it's a shame that they were hunted down and even sometimes killed, tortured, for trying to maintain their values in terms of segregation. Think about that. But anyways, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I know this is probably not the type of live stream that you wanted to hear, but I'm just so sick and tired of the way that things are being run in this country and many other countries. Believe me that if I was a politician, if I was in a position of control, none of this would be happening. The world would be a much better place if I were in control. Because I surround myself with people who are actually logical, who actually think about things and not use it as some sort of emotional crutch or support. Think about that. How I'm attacked on a daily basis, how many others are attacked on a daily basis for being white. What if we did that? What if we did that to the Jewish people? What if we did that to the black people? The same way that our white skin gets attacked all the time, people would be outraged. People will have their pitchforks out and ready. Think about that. So how long are you gonna let the people that want to destroy you actually destroy you? How long will it go for until you actually realize that they're destroying you? So my message to Donald Trump is that if he doesn't implement some sort of segregation policy, then he should not be president of this country. Because that would mean that he would not be thinking logically. And for a person that claims to be logical, straightforward, that would go against everything that they claim to be. And with that, I will say goodbye. I will see you next time. I don't know when I'll be posting again. I don't know when I'll be live streaming again. But I will be doing uploads. So share this video with as many people as you can. And even if you can't share this video with as many people as you can, take this information that I give you in this video and use it to help people, to get them out of this destruction that they've created. Because that's what it is. It's pure destruction, pure chaos.